Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I hope you all are doing well. This is our lesson number 5, in fact, in the series of organic chemistry. We could do this in one chapter, two lessons. But since we are doing this for the very first time, and I want everyone to understand this core concept of organic, including the formulas, the homologous series, the functional group, and each homologous series in detail. And in the series of these lessons, we started alcohols in the last class. So today we will do entire alcohol, inshallah. Alcohol is homologous series that have the functional group OH. Their general formula is CnH2n plus 1 and OH. This is the first member. Azan ho rahi hai, bas 1 minute. And these are the first 4 members of alcohols. Please isko check karein sab log. All the 4 members. The concept of isomerism as well. Yeah. Am I audible? All right. So alcohol is the homologous series. I hope I'm audible because I didn't get any response. Am I?
Yes.
Okay. Alcohol has the functional group OH. Their general formula is CnH2n plus 1 and OH CnH2n plus 1. So whatever night carbons, hydrogens are double and then 1 plus, and then presence of OH is must. So that's the same formula that we use to deduce the formula of 1 carbon alcohol, 2 carbon alcohol, 3 and 4. And because हमारे syllabus में तो 4 तक ही है ना. So CH3OH is for methanol, and you keep on increasing 1 carbon. Look at the sequence, how we are changing. We are adding 1 carbon and how many hydrogens? 2. OH तो वहीं पे है, right? And then again 1 carbon and then 2 hydrogens. So I told you that the consecutive members differ by CH2. That is the feature of the homologous series. So 1 carbon is always meth, 2 is eth, prop, and bute. So methanol, propanol, ethanol, propanol, and butanol. And I think last class में तो हमने बड़ा डिटेल में डिस्कस किया था the concept of isomerism. When the compounds have the same molecular formula but different structure, they are called isomers, and this phenomena is called isomerism. For example, if OH is attached with the first carbon, it is butane 1-all. And if you remain, 4 hydrocarbons are there. If you just change the position of OH from first carbon to second, it would be butane 2-all. So butane 1 and 2-all have exact same molecular formula, but they differ with their structure. So they are called isomers. This is what we studied in the last class. Let's understand how we can make alcohol. So making of alcohols, everyone. making of alcohol. पहले understand करेंगे, and then I want you to write. हमारे syllabus में है making of ethanol mainly, right? The formula is C2H5OH. Remember, we have already learned one reaction through which you can make alcohols. कोई मुझे बताएगा कहाँ से बनाते हैं हम alcohols? Which method is used to make alcohol? अभी हमने एक पढ़ लिया हुआ है by the way, और बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. ओके, किसी को नहीं याद? चलें हम आपको बता. देखो, you can make alcohol, I mean ethanol, by starting with two different reagents. Either you can convert your ethene molecule, याद है ethene का हमने reaction किया था. You can react ethene with steam, right? Ethene with steam, and to give you ethanol in the presence of 200 degrees, 60 atm, and phosphoric acid as catalyst, right? So we know that this reaction works when you have C2H4, which is a gas. You mix steam, which is also a gas. Under these conditions, you will end up having C2H5 and OH, correct? What type of reaction is this? Anyone in the class? What type of reaction is this?
Addition.
This is addition reaction, because two reactants reacts to form one product only. It is purely an addition reaction. The other reaction through which you can make ethanol is called fermentation. So this is called, ये वाला तो था hydration of alkene. Hydration of alkene, I mean specifically तो हम steam ethene की hydration कर रहे हैं, but that is a method, the first method through which you can make alkene. The other method is called fermentation of glucose. Fermentation of glucose. You know the formula of glucose, anyone in the class? What is glucose? C6H12O6. And for fermentation, we need some specific condition, which includes 25 to 35 degree temperature, right? Anaerobic. What do you mean by anaerobic? No air or no oxygen, absence of oxygen. And most important one is enzyme, the catalyst of this reaction, which is called yeast enzyme, right? So if you provide these conditions to glucose, 25 to 35, absence of air, anaerobic conditions, and yeast enzyme, glucose is fermented to give you ethanol and another product. So let me write that equation separately here, but in both these reactions, we get ethanol. So here, glucose, which is C6H12O6, is fermented under these conditions to give you ethanol, C2H5OH, and the byproduct of this reaction is CO2, which means it is clearly not an addition reaction, because we have one molecule on the reactant side and we have two on the product side. So this is, again, actually it is opposite to what do we call addition. Let's balance this equation. We have 6 carbons here and we have 12 hydrogens. So either 6 hydrogens है, इसके साथ 2 लगाएंगे तो 12 हो गए, 4 and इसके साथ क्या लगाएंगे, 2 2s are 4 and 2 6. 2 2s are 4, and I think it's a balance equation. So this is how you can make ethanol in 2 different methods. First method is called hydration of alkene. In fact, hydration of ethene. You mix steam into ethene under high temperature and pressure in the presence of phosphoric acid catalyst to give you ethanol. And you can also make ethanol starting from glucose. The process is called fermentation of glucose in the presence of 25 to 35 degrees, anaerobic and yeast enzyme. You still get ethanol, but with a byproduct. Now, both of these methods are different methods, require different condition, would have advantages and disadvantages. So let's write the advantages and disadvantages of both methods. I hope आप सबको ये समझ आ गया. ये कंफर्म इनमें से एक पेपर में आना है for 2 to 3 marks without any guess इंशाल्लाह. So अब इसलिए आप इसको चेक करने सब. So मैं यहाँ पे बेटा हाइड्रेशन वाला मेथड लिखूंगा. Hydration method, hydration of alkene, and another one is fermentation of glucose. Fermentation of glucose, right? Okay. अब इसको हम करेंगे कैसे? What are the advantages and disadvantages and how we can, you know, और also मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ it's extremely important. So हैं तो बहुत सारे advantages और disadvantages, हम कोई सा एक दो दो लिख लेते हैं बस. ये एडवांटेज वाला कॉलम है इस मेथड के दोनों के, और ये दोनों के डिसएडवांटेजेस. देखो हाइड्रेशन का एडवांटेज ये है कि सिंस हाई टेम्परेचर और प्रेशर यूज हो रहा है तो ये फास्ट होगा. तो हाई टेम्परेचर और प्रेशर है तो फास्ट तो होगा ना. इट इज अ क्विक प्रोसेस. अच्छा, इसमें ना जो अल्कोहल बनता है वो भी प्योर बनता है. क्योंकि इसमें हाई टेम्परेचर चाहिए ना, तो यू नो इट कॉस्ट लॉट ऑफ पैसे, खर्चा ज्यादा आएगा. इट वुड बी एक्सपेंसिव राइट. और दूसरा इसके जो एक्सपेंसिव, हाँ ठीक है. इसके एडवांटेजेस क्या है? इसका एडवांटेज ये कि इसमें यू सी द टेम्परेचर दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड रूम टेम्परेचर. सो इसका एडवांटेज ये है कि ये बहुत इसमें एक्सपेंसिव, इसमें पैसे नहीं लग रहे. सो इट्स अ चीप प्रोसेस, राइट. इसका डिसएडवांटेज ये कि क्योंकि टेम्परेचर लो है तो बहुत स्लो प्रोसेस भी है. डिसएडवांटेज ये कि इसमें जो अल्कोहल बनता है वो वेरी डाइल्यूट अल्कोहल, प्योर अल्कोहल नहीं बनता. वेरी डाइल्यूट अल्कोहल इज मेड. और इसके एडवांटेजेस में रीनेबल रॉ मटेरियल है. रॉ मटेरियल है वो क्रिएटेड बाय द नेचर. ग्लूकोज हम तो नहीं बनाते, नेचर बनाती है. सो रीनेबल रॉ मटेरियल, राइट. तो ये चंद एक आप एडवांटेजेस और डिसएडवांटेजेस के नोट कर सकते हैं. यूजुअली ये 1-2 मार्क्स के एमसीक्यूज में भी आते हैं एंड एग्जामिनर टेस्ट योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग इन यू नो थ्योरी पेपर एज वेल. करेक्ट लिख लिए सबने? प्लीज इसको चेक करें. एडवांटेजेस एंड डिसएडवांटेजेस एवरीवन of these two methods. What are these two methods? To make alcohol on commercial level, there are two methods. One is fermentation of glucose, other one is hydration of alkene. Hydration में वो अगर आपसे कहेगा describe the method, so simple आपने उसको स्टोरी सुनानी है. Mix ethene with steam at 60 atm 200 degree phosphoric acid catalyst, so added up to give you a product. But this is an expensive method because high temperature and pressure is required. Also, it is a good method since it is fast and pure alcohol is made. And this is where it takes a lot of time as compared to this method. So fermentation is a slow process. It takes place in batches. You know, वो आपसे पूछ सकता है कि why you can't exceed the temperature from 25 to 35. What would happen if you increase the temperature from 35? Don't you think the rate of reaction would be fast if you increase the temperature? Anyone in the class? What would happen if you would increase the temperature? Anyone? Yes. What would happen? आप में से बायोलॉजी कितने लोग पढ़ते हैं? I hope आप में से कुछ लोग बायो पढ़ते हैं ना. So if you are excellent, भाई जब आप टेम्परेचर इसका इंक्रीज करोगे तो yeast is an enzyme. They works only under an optimum temperature condition. If you would increase the temperature, the yeast would be denatured. So yeast denature हो जाएगा तो there won't be any fermentation because yeast catalyze this reaction. At high temperature, fermentation का हम लिख देते हैं. At high temperature, yeast denature. Correct? Makes sense, everyone? So both of these methods with their advantages and disadvantages are extremely important. Take 2-3 minutes and review the entire thing of making of alcohols, especially ethanol, Iman and everyone. So hydration and fermentation with their reactant products, byproducts, conditions, and advantages and disadvantages. Then we will do the chemical reactions of alcohols. Only few reactions, and that will be the end of today's class. But before that, I want everyone to check methods to make alcohols. सब लोग रिवाइज करेंगे, शाबाश इसको. Done. 1 minute. All right. Let's understand some of the chemical reactions now. So chemical reactions of alcohols. What exactly the chemical reactions is all about? You know, the first and the most important reaction of alcohol is basically called oxidation of alcohol. Oxidation, ये बहुत important है भाई, सब लोग और से सुन. Oxidation of alcohols. Oxidation के लिए we need an oxidizing agent. Those who have been already studied redox reactions in school or with me, they know what is meant by oxidation and what exactly we need if we want to oxidize our alcohol. We need oxidizing agent called KMNO4, right, in our syllabus. But bacteria and air cause oxidation too. Oxidation of alcohol. Okay. Achha, oxidation ki there are two types of oxidation. You know, two types. One is called complete oxidation or strong oxidation. And the other type of oxidation is called bacterial oxidation or incomplete oxidation, you can say. In complete oxidation, we need strong oxidizing agent called KMNO4, right? This is the reagent for complete oxidation. And for bacterial oxidation, bacteria in air cause. कुछ नहीं आपने करना, सिर्फ हवा में रख देना, अल्कोहल को ओपन रखेंगे. So bacteria in air causes bacterial oxidation, right? Okay. So for example, आपके पास है ethanol, C2H. अच्छा, पहले इसकी word equation लिख लेते हैं. Let's write the word equation. So you have alcohol, right? उसकी आपने की oxidation with KMNO4. Alcohols are always oxidized to form carboxylic acid. ये याद रखना. Alcohols की oxidation करेंगे तो क्या बनेगा? Carboxylic acids. Similarly, bacterial oxidation में भी यही होगा, लेकिन ये बहुत weak oxidation है. So alcohol है, आपने उसको air में रख दिया. So bacteria and air, they will oxidize alcohol to give you vinegar. ये विनेगर भी कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड ही होता है, लेकिन ये बॉडी वही सेम विनेगर है जो हम खानों में डालते हैं. So alcohol can be oxidized by bacteria in air, or alcohols can be oxidized with KMnO4. Now, imagine you have C2H5OH, right? And you add KMnO4 into it, acidified KMnO4. KMnO4 dissolve in acid. वो आपसे पूछेगा what condition is required, तो आपने लिखना है acidified KMnO4. Acidified KMnO4 dissolve in acid. तो आप क्योंकि एथेनॉल की ऑक्सीडेशन कर रहे हो, तो आगे जो कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड बनेगा वो एथेनोइक एसिड बनेगा. क्या बनेगा? एथेनोइक एसिड. करेक्ट. और यहां पे जब आपके पास एथेनॉल है फॉर एग्जांपल, और आपने उसको एयर में रख दिया, तो बैक्टीरियल ऑक्सीडेशन होकर विनेगर बनेगा. होगा विनेगर भी एथेनोइक एसिड, लेकिन ये बहुत ही वीक एथेनोइक एसिड होगा जिसको हम विनेगर कहें. यहां पे जो ऑब्जर्वेशन what observation you can make here is, what is the color of KMnO4? Anyone in the class? ये क्या हो जाएगा? Colorless. So KMnO4 is purple in color. When it will oxidize the alcohol become carboxylic acid, and here the bacterial oxidation of alcohol turn it into vinegar. This is very important. और combustion का तो आप सबको पता है. How do complete and incomplete combustion gives you the different product? Complete combustion of alcohols, of carboxylic acid, alkane, alkene will always gives you carbon dioxide and water, whereas incomplete combustion gives you carbon monoxide and water. Please check both of these reactions of alcohol, oxidation of alcohol to make carboxylic acid. Everyone. Shabash. Check करें please सब लोग. In fact, I want you to write these reactions on your notebook. So inshallah, tomorrow we'll be doing carboxylic acid and esters. So हमारा homologous entire हो जाएगा complete, and then day after we will do polymers. वैसे तो एक lesson में हो जाना चाहिए, नहीं होगा तो by this Thursday we will complete our entire organic, and then of course वो जो हमारे पास next week होगा इसी month का, उसमें हम इसके past papers करेंगे. We haven't done any past paper by the way क्योंकि chapter भी चल रहा था. Let's quickly review the entire alcohol. Functional group OH, CnH2n plus 1 and OH. 4 members are part of our syllabus: meth, ethane, propane, and butane. Methanol, ethanol, propanol, and butanol. Depends on the number of carbon atoms. 2 methods to make alcohol. One is hydration of alkene, and other one is fermentation of glucose. Both methods works with different conditions, different reactants. Hydration needs 268 element phosphoric acid. Fermentation needs room temperature, anaerobic, and yeast. And these are their advantages and disadvantages. And then the only important reaction of alcohol, along with the ester formation, which we'll do tomorrow, is called oxidation of alcohol to form carboxylic acid. So जब भी alcohol की oxidation होती है, carboxylic acid बनेगा. Alcohols are oxidized with 2 different agents, either by air or by strong oxidizing agent called KMnO4. And that is it. Make sense, everyone? Take care. Allah Hafiz. Bye-bye. If you have any question, please ask. Any question? No question? Chalo, theek.